This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Hey bro, back in the day though, I had my my little Kobe, bro, All right man, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. We got a very special guest here.
Oh, we're filming already?
Yeah, we've been filming. Oh, we got a very special guest. This is my boy Deo, as you guys know.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
You guys have seen him many times already. I think we've done two videos.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
But we're in our hometown of Vallejo, California. We wanted to do a quick little shoot because we're gonna be testing out this lens today. Very special lens. This is the Viltrox 27mm 1.2 XF lens. And you guys, I've heard so many good things about this one, ranging from it's the best lens for the Fujifilm system, it's the sharpest lens they've had, and I'm kind of skeptical.
I don't know anything about cameras, but it's a good looking lens at most.
No. My God. So we have a couple of spots we scouted out, lots of really nice fog colors. I had Deo step out in some like streetwear type of feel, so that's kind of the vibe we're going for, just a classic look. And we're gonna test the 27 1.2, put it through its paces, and hopefully it looks good. Once we get a couple of good shots down that I feel comfortable with, we'll go back home, analyze our results, and then I'll give you guys my final write-up on the Viltrox 27mm 1.2 autofocus lens for Fujifilm cameras. All right, so we're shooting with the Fujifilm xpro 2. It's not the newest body, but I want to show you guys how it looks on somewhat of an older Fuji camera. Just get you on this line right here. Good. And then go ahead and shift to the side a little bit. There you go. I forget, is this your left? Is it better?
The.
All right, for sure. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, go ahead and make that
the wind chill.
Yeah, the wind chill. Actually, you know what? Look up at me real quick. Look down to me. All right, and I'm gonna flip it this way. So let's get like an environmental. This is a 40mm equivalent. So the 27mm on the Fujifilm xpro 2 with the 1.5x crop ends up being like a 40mm, which is really good for things like this. 3, 2, and 1. And then let's look this way. All right, so check this lens out. It's obviously a larger lens. I think without the lens hood, it's a little bit more manageable, but come on now, that's a pretty big lens right here. On the xpro 2, actually feels pretty solid. 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1. So for those of you guys who don't know, this man is a head coach of what?
Division 2 NCAA school.
There you go. Bro, you're the man, bro. That's kind of crazy. Let's get you on the other side of this fence and then we can start hitting those leaves. All right, so we found these really nice colorful leaves right here. I want to utilize that in cooperation with this outfit. It has a nice little neutral feel to it. You ready, bro?
I'm ready.
Ooh, that's fire.
Ruigi, if you see this, I'm wearing your Ru collaboration with Zara. Please sponsor me because your clothes are very expensive.
So this one's gonna be a little bit weird because it's backlit. Look this way real quick. Perfect. 3, 2, 1. Good, bro. So just pretend like you're stepping. Yeah. It doesn't have to be too aggressive. Like it could just be a very slight. Good. And then go back real quick.
Sasquatch.
Don't place. Actually, yeah, stay like that, bro. Let's cross the street without getting hey. So far, I'm really liking the look of this lens. I don't know if it's just because my model right here, bro, is just freaking handsome as hell. Could be. Never mind, bro.
Is the camera rolling?
Camera's still rolling.
YouTube, it's a sassy man apocalypse, and I'm on the front line standing on business just like this. For real.
But if I ever see you like this on the vlog, I'm not messing with you. All right, that's perfect right there. Let's try one of those. Let me get the stick out of the way. So I'm gonna use a couple of these leaves right here, and I'm gonna drop it on the lens. But that pose you just had, kind of like leaned up against the tree.
Look at the creative direction.
Oh, I really like that, the leaves in the background. I'm gonna shoot this at 1.2. So I'm gonna open up that aperture, get a little bit more depth of field in there. All right, we're looking good. With the cops rolling by, 3, 2, 1. Perfect, 1, 2, 3. I'm actually using the leaves to kind of block that sun. Ready? All right, here we go.
Kinda. I think that one was better.
Yes, it was. That's a wrap. Shoot is now over. Follow Deo over on his Instagram. Deo, shout out your Instagram real quick.
Dope is DB. That's me. Just dope is DB, but that, you guys get it.
Yeah, that wraps up the shoot. We're gonna go back home and we're gonna talk about the results with the Viltrox 27 1.2 XF and why I honestly feel like it's probably the best lens I've had on the Fujifilm cameras. It's a bold statement, but damn, it's really good. All right, see you soon. Woo. All right, you guys, so we are back home now, and I am not going to lie, man. This lens really impressed me today. I want to talk a little bit about what I think about it, what I recommend it, as well as share results of like some of the images I made, which were freaking cool. But really quick, I want to give a huge thank you and shout out to the sponsor for this episode, the good folks over at Squarespace. Squarespace is your all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your business. Now, I always tell photographers if you want to level up your game, the best way to do so is to create your own website. And luckily, Squarespace has all of the tools you could ever need to get your website up and running within minutes. From award-winning templates that you can use to get started, you have a page for e-commerce. On my website, I have a page for a gallery as well as a portfolio. And one of the newest and best features is the video page, as this allows you to share video content directly onto your website through a direct upload or even a link and URL. If you're a hybrid shooter and you do any type of video work, this is probably one of the biggest perks to using Squarespace. So head over to squarespace.com/KingJapes and enter promo code KingJapes at checkout, and you guys can get 10% off of your first purchase of a domain or a website. Huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's episode. All right, so a couple of things that I have to get out of the way just first and foremost. Viltrox, they did send me this lens to review, but they are not paying me to say anything. So there are some things on here that I don't necessarily like, and you know, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm always gonna tell you guys straight up how I feel about the lens. So the first thing that I wanna talk about is one thing that I actually don't really like, and that is the size and the weight. So check it out, you guys. This is a pretty big lens, and I think a lot of you guys might get it confused with just the lens hood. So when you take the lens hood off, obviously it is a much better form factor, but you know, Fujifilm cameras are typically smaller, and all of the lenses that they have put out have been pretty freaking small. Now, when you take into account how large this 27mm 1.2 is, it is freaking humongous. It is actually pretty heavy, and even though on my xpro 2 it doesn't look that bad, if you put this on any XE camera, it's going to look ridiculous. It's definitely a lot more manageable without the lens hood. It is big for a good reason though. You know, this thing opens up to 1.2, and at 1.2, this is the sharpest lens I have ever used. It's sharper than the Sigma 35-1.4 that I have. It's sharper than some of the L series glass that I used to shoot with, like the 85-1.2. I gotta give huge props to Viltrox for developing a lens that looks really freaking good at a wide open aperture like 1.2. Now it does have a 67mm filter thread, which is great because I have a new magnetic clip filter system that I'm going to be testing out here shortly, but 67mm is a pretty common filter thread, I believe. Now in terms of how the lens is built, I really like the design of it. On the front here, you have the aperture markings all across from 1.2 all the way to f/16, as well as the A for auto mode. So if you want to turn this into full automatic mode, program mode, you can do that as well. Now the aperture ring has sort of like this skinny banding with this nice texture to it. It feels really good, and I like how it's closer to the body, makes it feel much like a film camera. And then you have the manual focus ring right here, which is really smooth. And the overall kind of body is built here with metal, so that's why it is sort of heavy, and that is just a huge benefit in itself. Now Viltrox advertises this lens as a pro lens. I feel like a lot of the lenses Viltrox has made in the past have been for people just wanting a good quality lens that they can use for whatever. But Viltrox, knowing that there are professionals out there who are looking for a fast 27mm, 40mm focal length equivalent lens to use for professional work, they've crafted this lens. And I don't know if you can see that there, folks. It says pro on there, and it kind of lives up to the name. I want to look at some of these photographs here and talk about the bokeh as well, because when you shoot this lens wide open at 1.2, the background becomes nice and creamy, like broccoli and spinach soup. This is really beneficial if you are shooting things like portraits and you need to isolate your subject. Having a 1.2 aperture lens is going to help you out immensely. I even did a test shooting at all of the different apertures from 1.2 all the way to f/16, and at 1.2 it's already really sharp in the center, a little bit soft on the sides, but what can you expect from a 1.2 wide open lens? And as you stop down to around f5, f5.6, it gets even sharper. I think it's most sharp around f4, f5.6, which is perfect if you are photographing families. But gosh, you guys, even if you shoot this just at wide open all day long, which is pretty much what I did today, it still performs really well. But there is one thing in terms of image quality that kind of not bugs me, but maybe it's a little bit annoying, and that is the flaring. So even with the lens hood on the lens, there was a lot of flaring, and you can kind of see this cast of light just shine over the photograph. And some people are gonna like that, but I personally don't like that too much, especially when I'm shooting backlit. I feel like it does give you like a dreamy look, but for certain situations, it's not always something that you want. So I would just be careful shooting this, you know, backlit or just in direct sunlight. There is going to be some flaring. Autofocus is pretty fast. I would say it's about average, on par with the rest of the Fuji lenses. There is not really too much noise, but you can definitely feel a little vibration when you have pressed the shutter to focus. So what is my final verdict on the Viltrox 27mm 1.2? Well, considering that this lens is just under $600 at around 545 bucks, I think this would be a great addition to any working professional photographer, especially if you have some of the bigger cameras like the XH2S or maybe even like the X-T5, X-Pro 3. The lens is going to be really nicely balanced on your cameras, even though it is a larger lens. If you already have some type of like wide angle 18mm f2 and maybe even like the 56mm on the telephoto end, this right here would be a fantastic addition as kind of your middle range 35mm to 50mm focal length. It's probably the sharpest Fuji lens that I have tried, and hands down, you guys, like if I were to just give it a rating, it would be like an 8.9 out of 10. And it's only losing points because one, it is a bigger lens, and so it doesn't really work well on the smaller cameras like the XE1, like the XE series of cameras. But other than that, in terms of performance, you guys, this thing rocks, man. It is an amazing lens, as you guys were able to see from this episode. But that is going to wrap it up, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Drop a like down below and also comment if you guys have any questions or even concerns about this lens. I'd love to help you guys out and answer some of those. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more Fujifilm content. But that's gonna wrap it up. I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, Minolta Gang.